Good morning. So the last couple of videos that have come out, I filmed quite a while ago. I'm taking a break from gardening, which really stinks. My arms are just, my legs went out, and then I used my arms on a cane or a walker or crutches for so long that now my arms are kind of giving up the ghost. And so my hands are numb a lot of the time, and wakes me up in the middle of the night in pain. Anyway, it's no fun. So I really have to rest, which is seriously against my programming. But I am able to plan, at least in my mind. Can't draw it, can't do anything about it, but I can plan in my mind. And so the area behind me is going to be the cut flower garden this year. And we need to get the irrigation run over to it. And I want to try to do 4 rows of flowers. And the building over here is a 60-foot building, and I'm kind of pasted off, and I think about 40 feet is going to be the length of the rows. And all along this side, there are a couple of fig trees, and then yesterday, I didn't plant it, but hollyhocks have been planted all along, because remember the hollyhocks that got flipped over in the windstorm? I have no clue what they are, so I just said, all right, just plant them there, and it'll be a mix of hollyhocks, and they would likely won't flower this year because they're biennial, but next year they will hopefully flower. So anyway, this area behind me will soon be cut flower. So I'm gonna point the camera down on the ground and kind of talk about where I'm seeing it happening. We at least got as far as putting an arbor on both ends, and then this area, starting from here going this direction, I'm doing mainly natives, and that's to just kind of create an area that looks like our native hills around here. Lots of sages, ceanothus. I need to get some manzanita in here. Anyway, oaks. So that's that direction. And this direction, from this berm, I need to leave a little bit of a walking path. And then I think 40 feet-ish that direction. And then I need another walking path on the other end. This side, as I just said, we planted hollyhocks from here to the 3rd fig tree down there, and those are the ones that got flipped over in the windstorm, and so no clue what they are. There is a snapdragon that I planted last year that survived, and some geranium. This is, I think, the apple blossom, and there's another apple blossom geranium on the other end, and some feverfew here that survived the winter in the middle. 3 or 4 feverfew, but they just planted the hollyhocks like right next to them. So there's 1, 2, 3 feverfew, I think, that made it. But I said just plant the hollyhocks. Anyway, then looking back at it this way, you can see the area, and we are in shade right now. It's very early in the morning. This entire run has irrigation for a 2nd row of flowers, so those will be shorter than hollyhocks, which is not hard to do. And then in this area, I want to try to do 4 rows. And it's not exactly a rectangle. It widens out that way. It's kind of like a uneven pie shape. And I want to have enough space to walk this way. I'm thinking that funny white bench that was on our driveway for a long time could sit right in here, because this is also a pathway. It's hard to see right now because of all the weeds, but that's a path that goes around behind this tree. So if I'm standing here, the straight line comes still in front of me here, and so there's room there. And I'm only going to need 3 paths, 3 walking lanes in between. A bit of hose. So I kind of stepped it off yesterday, and if I have one row of flowers here, so 2 rows of irrigation, and then a walking path, and then another row of 2 rows of irrigation, and then a walking path, irrigation, walking path, flowers and irrigation, and then we are back on our main path. So we have enough wood chips now and enough cardboard now to cardboard and wood chip this area and get it ready for planting. Really, as you see, there's tons of weeds already starting to come up from the last rain. It's mainly radish, wild radish, and mustard is what we get here, chickweed, grass. The grass is a purple veld grass, which is just ubiquitous here. So we definitely need to weed mat it before we plant it. And let's go take a look at the plants, see how they're all doing. These out here have been hardened off. So they're pretty much ready to plant. We might have another cold snap, I don't know. But I do have a row cover that can be put over them. So snapdragons, these are all our snapdragons. So again, we have the Chantilly light salmon, orange something, orange wonder maybe. What's this one? Maryland lavender. Got kind of poor results on that one. Potomac apple blossom, legend white, lion's mouth snap. Oops, this is oregano. And apple blossom snap. So the oregano I'm actually going to use kind of as a ground cover. I like to use unusual things as ground cover. Food like strawberries and oregano, stuff like that. These are sea holly. They're going to be planted in the landscape. Meadow sage into the landscape. These are pink gin, I think, digitalis. Those go in the landscape. So shimmer celosia, that's also going to go in the cut flower. And these are carnation. This is Maurice Chabot. That's going to go cut flower. And La France. And then these ones are predominantly straw flower. White straw flower. Peach apricot. Dragon's Den. Silvery rose. I have a lot of this planted already in the yard, and it wintered over and bloomed the whole winter. And then this is bee balm. So bee balm I think will go maybe in the landscape, but those are the ones that are like hardened off, ready to go. And then I just moved more out yesterday. And these ones just moved out here yesterday from, you know, the hothouse area. So we have borage, which probably will go in the landscape. And no, it doesn't reseed like crazy here. I think we're just too dry. If we don't irrigate, we don't get plants. Dusty Miller, it's cut flower. Apricot Peony Duchess, Aster, China Aster blend, king size apricot. These are all going to be cut flower. Purple verbena. This I think is, this was supposedly, supposedly chives. None of the chives came up, but this came up, and this is either a carnation or a Fama scabiosa. I can't tell. Yeah. But we'll see. This is Sparkle White Gara. Probably put that one in the landscape. This is Pastel Pansy, and look, we already have a flower. So cute. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants-ish. Those will go in the landscape. And then these are my sages for that area that I mentioned that's more natives. So common sage. I'm trying to think. Oh, clary sage, that one. It's so pretty. And then Oxford Blue Salvia. So even though these aren't necessarily natives here, we have a lot of sages here, and I'm gonna do a mix of sages in that area over there. So that's that, and we're gonna use drip tape. So this is the roll of drip tape, and these are the ends of the drip tape. I of course can't do it, but I will show you the idea. So you cut the lengths you need, and then this one is an end piece. The tube is flat, but you pinch the end of the tube and then it becomes round, and then you can attach the ends, and then those screw over tight, which I can't do. And then the other end, the little red stripes are up, and you want the valves up. And then this is the shut-off valve end, and it does just go into your 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch supply line using a punch, landscape adapter punch. So that goes on the other end of these. I have just enough to do 8 more rows, which is what we're gonna do. No, 8, 2, 4, 6, yeah, 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 more rows of the irrigation. And oops, I just need to lay it out. So I've made my little markings in the sand. It's not very scientific, but that's where I'm gonna get help, and they're gonna come run the irrigation. So I think because that end is actually straight, we'll go straight off the supply line that way, across and under the path, and then 2 lines each this way, because this end is uneven, you know, it'll end up stopping right around here. So I kind of drew a curve. So those 2, the first couple runs can be longer, and then when it gets to those 2, they're gonna have to be stopped shorter, and this final one even shorter. But I still think, let's see, it's like 20, 40. I still think even the shortest one will be, you know, 35 feet or so. I'm not going to measure it, but I think that's going to be really cool to see all these flowers. And then I'll put a little bench over here, and you can sit and enjoy them all. So that's what's going to be happening over the next week here, is getting the irrigation set up and getting the area mulched, cardboard and wood chips over the dirt, so we don't have all the weeds coming up and fighting our plants that we want. So that's it for today. Just kind of an update of what we're going to be doing and where all the cut flower seedlings are at now. Our last frost, average last frost, is like March 11th or so. So I do have 1 to 2 week seeds to still start. So I'm gonna have the kids help me with that. And that's gonna kind of do it. I'm thrilled. This hedge that I planted is starting to come in and really screen out the next warehouse over. And I'm creating a really pretty garden back here. And I will just keep updating you as things happen and show you the results. And I will keep recovering with my arms and legs, and just keep you up to date as things happen around here. So thank you for joining me, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye-bye.